And we are live. My name is Redwan.
And I'm Jacob Lai.
My co-host for today, no. I'll still be hosting today. And this is our Insync Live episode 9. And today we are extremely honored to have Jacob Lai with us. He is a guitar tech and the founder of Echoinox, who are one of the most exciting things to have happened to Singapore, in my opinion. He founded Echoinox when he was in university. And since then, now they represent more than 25 international brands and are quickly becoming one of the biggest guitar stores in Singapore.
Indeed. Thank you, Redwan. Wow, the way you put it out like that, man. Almost cried.
Because one thing also is that you guitar tech.
That's right.
Because I was reading the bio you sent us.
Yes.
So, during the day, he runs Echoinox. By night, he repairs guitars.
Yes.
Do you sleep, man?
I very little, but it sounds a bit like Batman. Yes, indeed. In the morning, basically, Echoinox is e-commerce, so
Okay.
I run it with a small team. There's a graphic designer, then there's some other demo artists, this admin, yeah. So at night, I will get back to my man cave, as some of my clients put it, because it's really quite messy inside.
I see.
But it's an organized mess, yeah. So I'll get back to repairing over there. And then sleep. Sleep is actually, I know we're just like maybe 5 minutes in and I'm digressing already, but there's this thing where it was a research by some university whereby you actually don't need like maybe 8 hours of sleep straight away. You could split it into like maybe 3 hours
right?
at night and then like 1 in the afternoon, 1 in the evening, that kind. So essentially you think about it, you end up having 5 hours of sleep, but it's as if you have 8 hours. But that's not today's topic.
But do you do that?
Yes, I accidentally started doing that.
Because it's like REM cycle, you get one full one,
Correct.
and then I understand this.
Oh damn. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No, we will. Let's keep going this way. Don't worry about it. My mind works that way. So
Awesome. Let me just link it all back.
one. I think the first question I like to start with always is share with maybe the audience your personal story as to how you got here in an abstract sense, to where
I
you
see.
are today.
Okay. Yeah, firstly, hi everyone. Most of your viewers are probably coming from Insync. Maybe some from Echoinox. We've been pushing for quite a bit.
Wonderful.
So hi guys. If you don't know who's behind Echoinox, that's me.
Oh, the pedal Bing, is it?
Pedal
That's it.
Bing, yes.
I love
Pedal Bing.
I love it.
Okay, how it started. Okay, this is a funny story. And honestly, Redon, this is the first time I'm sharing the full story
Yeah.
on Insync Live. And it's exclusively for your event, really. It's because a lot of people have asked me like how did Echoinox start, and I would tell them different parts of the story depending on the situation, like how much time or which part is more interesting to this person. So here's a full story. When I was in 3rd year of university, I was playing in hall. I was quite active, and I got into the best band of the hall
Okay.
for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes.
I got fired. Basically, I had
You got fired from a gig it didn't pay.
no. It was just they were recruiting one more guitarist. Then I was trying out.
Okay.
Then I got in, for like really 10 minutes. Yeah, I remember that band very vividly. And I even remember the song that got me out, got me kicked out. It was Amy Winehouse.
Valerie?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Rhythm. It was a lot of offbeats.
Yeah.
And my rhythm was very bad.
Okay.
And I got in for 10 minutes and then I was sacked.
Oh,
So
man.
but I'm still very close with a lot of the members inside, because it's a small hall and we know each other. So anyway, since then I realized, hey, I'm not gonna give up. Okay, I love music. If I can't play, I'll do something else. And that's when I ventured into guitar tech. I found like this mentor who actually wasn't very useful because he was very scared I would steal his clients, like open a shop
Okay.
opposite, that kind.
I see.
So I was with him for less than a month, and then I went to venture out on my own. And then at the same time, although I wasn't playing very well, a lot of people have been telling me like I can dial in really good tones. Like my ears are good. Not in the sense of pitch. Like I don't have relative pitch but I could dial in very nice tones, like this for distortion, this for overdrive, this for blues, this for jazz. Oh, you want some bass down here, that kind. So I ventured into effect pedals, And then eventually I thought that to get pedals, like to buy them on from some of Singapore's music stores, don't want to name them, it was really expensive at the time. So I started asking myself, do pedals really cost that much? So that's when Echoinox began. We wanted to bring in pedals at an affordable rate that everyone can have access to.
I see.
Yeah. That's
2017. Was that your
yes
first year of operations in a sense?
yes,
2017.
indeed. 3.5 years, yeah.
And this was the last year of university. Wow.
So, no, I had one more year to go.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. 4 years, right?
It was tough, man.
Yeah.
Trying to
right.
juggle this. And so every time when finals came, then my sales would dip because I'm not there.
I see.
Yeah, it was really tough. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And because was it purely e-commerce at that point?
Purely e-commerce.
Your house was the
we
warehouse.
started out selling pre-orders. Yeah.
I see.
So we had no inventory.
I see.
And some people were willing to wait, most weren't. And then we began expanding from there. Yeah, from that one product. Boom, now we have 25 brands.
No, amazing.
I know, right?
I'll touch on that in a bit. But the question is, what degree were you studying for in uni?
Oh, I was doing physics and applied physics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a local university. That was also one of the hardest period of my life. We learned a lot about quantum physics, nuclear physics, and don't ask me. I cannot remember a lot. Like, I borrowed that information from my prof for 4 years, and then I returned it back to them.
It was just on loan.
Yeah, on loan.
Okay, so that kind of relates to my question. How was that degree in any way influential in you now running Echoinox? Do you think? Or even in the way you are now?
Okay, honestly, a lot of people have asked me that as well. So my response is always that the academia, the content wasn't my biggest takeaway from university. It was really the friends and the character building. So university 4 years is actually really rough, really tough, and you have to interact with a lot of people to work together. So it built up a lot of resilience and a lot of communication. And there were a lot of leadership roles that I took, which I am still using to this day, to lead my team when doing Echoinox. Yeah, content-wise, I would say to a small extent there were a few topics on like electricity, and the prof did a good job linking it back to electric guitars. He was an electric guitar player, I remember.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I remember I loved that mod so much. It was about acoustics and stuff.
Okay.
So but that only did a small part in helping me for the rest of the journey. It was really a character building. So if anyone out there, you just finished poly, just finished NS, and you're wondering whether you should go uni or not, because that's the topic nowadays, right?
Yeah, it always will be, I think.
Yeah. Do I get a degree or do I start a business or that? I would say both is fine. Honestly, both is fine. Or rather, let me correct myself. Either is fine. Both are fine. Grammar. Yeah. Just take any path and go down. Yeah. You'll reach somewhere that you'll be happy. Yeah.
It's interesting that you just said get a degree or start a business. I think for most people it's get a degree or start work.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll prod you a bit about that. Has that always been your frame of thinking that you would start a business?
I would say yes. Yeah. So since a very early stage of my life, I realized I'm a very self-driven person, and I don't always think the same as other people. But it doesn't mean that either of us is wrong. Yeah. So I like to do things my way, which I think is better. So that's why when I recruit people, I tend to try to see whether they have the same vision as me. Because if they think the other way, then it's gonna be very difficult.
Inefficient, right?
Correct.
After a while.
Inefficient. Yeah. So yeah, and that's why I have always thought about starting my own business.
I see.
Yeah. Well, I guess Echoinox was is a miracle. I managed to merge my passion and my work. It's really a blessing. Yeah, I'm very thankful for it.
Now you've worked for this, You've worked for this.
I have.
I've seen it grow.
Oh, is it?
I mean, I tell you this, I follow. Then randomly I'll message you stuff as well. I'm like, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm quite random that way.
Thanks, man.
Was this your first business venture?
Yes, indeed it was.
Oh, amazing.
And it was tough. So, of course, I was in the third year of uni. I didn't have any money, so I had to borrow from my parents. My mother was like, you finish your study first. You're gonna lose all my money. The typical Chinese tiger mom,
Tiger mom.
Yeah, but my dad, on the other hand, was so she went to my dad and said like, hey, you know what? Your son asked me for money. Then my dad was the one who went like, what? So do you give him? Why do you give him? My dad believed in me. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah, and I think that's love, right? Love. Yeah. So honestly, I am very thankful for it. So eventually, I borrowed from them, and 1 year later I broke even. But I still kept the money because I wanted to expand it. And the second year I returned to them with interest.
Oh wow!
And the third year, by the third year, this is 3.5 years already. We were self-sustaining already. Yeah.
Wow. Next year you're gonna buy them a house.
Yeah. Well, I think you probably will ask this later on, but I'm just gonna slot in this
Go
one
for
line
it.
first. This industry, music retail, is not gonna make you rich. So maybe not a house, maybe a Lego house. Yeah.
Maybe a good dinner.
Yes.
Right, a Michelin
That
star
would work too.
restaurant and.
Yeah. What?
Is that too much? Is that too much?
I was thinking just a really good zi char place would do. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Nice. It's so nice to hear about your beginnings in this way.
Thank you.
Because now I'm painting it better. Because you have told me in spurts.
Oh,
Not
yes.
this whole timeline from the beginning. Now I know like, okay, you've always thought about starting a business.
Yeah.
And a question I have for you is, because you also guitar tech, right? How does this inform your selling of gear? Do these things have any kind of a counter interaction almost?
Yes. Honestly, definitely a lot actually. So, like a lot of times when people come to send in their guitar, so it usually starts like that. They'll have some grievances about their guitar. They want it to be brighter. They want it to be angrier. Yeah, those are the words they use.
Abstract
I
terms.
want my guitar to really shout at me. And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? Then I'll go like, okay,
Shouting.
maybe change the pickup to some Andy Timmons one, Yeah. And after we change the guitar, we zheng here and there and modify it. And they go like, hey, I'm still not getting a tone we want. Then I'll tell him, okay, we've done everything we've given the best specs for this guitar already. Now we look at the pedal board. Because if they went to somebody who doesn't have knowledge in pedals and tech, you could be barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, maybe you go to a tech who don't know about pedals, then he'll just keep telling you, okay, let's change this pickup. It doesn't work, let's change another pickup. No. For me, I'll straight away tell you, that's the best you can do for this guitar. Now we look at pedals. And then we slot in, and then boom, he gets his tone. He goes like, this was what it was in my head. And I tell you, Redwan, that is immense satisfaction.
Now this is... Because something just clicked for me, that you are thinking about every element of the chain.
Yes.
For an instrumentalist.
Correct.
And because you have expertise now in every element, wow, it just clicked for me because I didn't think of you that way.
It's a whole picture, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess it's a whole circle really. It starts from the guitar all the way to the pickups, the pots, the caps, and then we modify our tone towards what you want with the pedals and then the amps, all that. Yeah, even the tubes of the amp. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I have done my homework, so I know. If you're lacking some mids here, which part we can modify in this entire circle to get the mids back. Yeah,
Very
things like
interesting. It's like tone consultancy.
Yeah, I guess
know?
It is. Except I don't charge. Yeah.
So that's the other thing I was going to mention. It feels like you're doing this as a byproduct of the things you do.
It is.
Out of like, okay, I'm just going to share this with you. That this is a guitar, and then also you can do this thing outside of your guitar to supplement your tonal needs or things like that, right?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just clicked for me. I didn't think of you this way.
Awesome.
Because for the viewers out there, he has worked with musicians in the scene.
Yes.
to refine their sound. And I think he has worked on this level for many of us. From cables, because you even make your own cables now.
Yes, Redwan. Yeah, I almost forgot to bring this up. Also, cables. Cables affect tone. So many people do not believe me.
I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, Redwan, you're one of the Solace cables.
Yeah.
Endorsees. Yeah.
Ooh, I feel honored.
So yeah, man. Yeah. You know, different cables will affect different tonal range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes it's true, you know. Sometimes they go like, there's some tone sucking. I've changed the patch cables. I've changed the effect pedals. I've added a buffer here and there. Still missing. Yeah. It's the instrument cables. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You're a problem solver. That's what it is. On many different levels.
Yes. That's one way to put it, yeah, I guess.
Actually, it's very interesting because I don't think we outwardly label musicians or people who are techs as problem solvers this way for tone, you know, for tone. I want to talk to you about this eventually.
Yes.
Like, imagine if you were, like, you know how there's a vocal coach, a tone coach?
Yes.
Yeah, just random. Okay, wait, but back to the topic.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about being a music retail store entrepreneur in Singapore. How has that been, man? Because I mean, we in Singapore know all the big companies.
Yes.
And the small companies also.
Yes.
I don't think I should mention names, but how has it been for you as an entry point first? How do you find your entry point? And how has it been since then? To 25 brands now.
Yeah, wow. Hey, thank you for this question, man. This really brings me back. So when we first started out, there weren't many small shops like us, mainly the big shops, and they have monopoly. That's why they were marking up the prices so much, which we were so unhappy about. And then we came in, and I wouldn't say we undercut them. We just really brought it at a more reasonable price that everyone could afford. So the entry point really was actually there all along. It was just that nobody knew how to enter, and honestly, it's not a very lucrative industry. I have to emphasize this again, man. If you're looking to like buy your Ferrari, right? No, don't come and sell pedals. Selling pedals won't get your Ferrari. Yeah. Just last month I bought a Lego house for my Lego house for my nephew.
Okay.
That's probably the extent of this business. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I digress. You know, I love talking with you. We always digress.
I have this thing also. Yeah.
So many things. Yeah. So the entry point was always there, and I took a leap of faith. But I did not see it as a business. Not then. Not now even. It was always a passion hobby thing. But it just grew a bit big with the help of everyone. Yeah. So like I said, even today it's a passion hobby, and being a like retail shop in Singapore, you asked how it was it like, right? Okay, Singapore is infamous for the rental fees and all the overhead costs, right? So from the get-go, I knew we weren't going to have a shop. We would never have a shop.
Right.
Yeah. So we started out e-commerce, and I wanted to stay that way. So I you know, in some conversations with some of my entrepreneur friends, I always say I envision, like in 10 years down the road, all shopping centers will be just food and games. Yeah, there'll be no retail stuff there. Everything will just shift online. Yeah. Okay, maybe not 10 years, maybe 20 years. Yes. I think that's the end goal of all this, yeah. So with this end goal in mind, I started out e-commerce, and I am going to stay there. I will never open a shop at Peninsula, you know, the kind of thing. No. We recently opened a showroom. That was because we found a need that a lot of you guys want to test the pedals before you hear them, and it's perfectly logical. One pedal is $300, some are 400, some are 500. Of course you want to plug in first, right? So we opened a really small and cozy showroom. You've been there.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and people just go in and plug in and play whatever they want. It's awesome. And I always emphasize when people come over that this is a showroom, this is not a shop. So I'm not going to sell you anything. Yeah. And I think you experienced that as well, right? All I did was just keep plugging in pedals for you. It was so fun.
Spent hours there.
Yeah. I only tell you the price if you ask for it, but I'll never tell you like, oh, this is a cheaper one. No, I'm not interested in all that. Yeah, it's still a passion hobby at the end of the day.
Because I think on this aspect, as musicians, wanting to try something is kind of innate to buying an instrument, or you kind of want to hold it in your hands and try it and make sure it's the right feeling, makes you resonate a certain way.
That's true.
So I think that's because I was just reading this about like brick and mortar kind of models that naturally technology is kind of influencing this whole
It is.
paradigm shift.
It is.
But I do feel like people still want to like, especially that's why you open the showroom, and I think that's beautiful. People want to come down and try stuff before deciding like to part with their cash for something so personal as sound
Correct.
or like instrument, you know, like
Correct.
wow.
And with me in the showroom, I shorten the learning curve a lot. Like for example, Asabi, Jackson Audio Asabi, like you
I
love that.
pedal.
I remember you
A
love
student of mine just bought that from you, I think.
Was it Dwayne?
Yes.
Yes,
He
yes.
says hi. He says hi.
He other one. Yeah. Oh, okay. If Dwayne, if you're watching, hi.
Oh, nice.
So the Asabi, for example, if I didn't tell you like, the top 3 rows is for this, bottom 3 rows is for this, you can switch the clipping all that. If I don't go through with you like that, you're gonna spend maybe 30 minutes reading the manual, and that's so boring, right? It's just much easier if somebody teaches you. Just press, and then you can get this tone, you can get that tone. Yeah. So that's, I feel, one of the perks. Oh, but I love that you mentioned how brick and mortar and the technology are merging. Like I think, have you read the recent news? There's this Cheers open.
Cheers, is it?
Was it Cheers? I think it's Cheers.
One of
Yeah.
those chains, right?
Or is it 7-Eleven? I think Cheers. They opened this store where there's no employees inside. You go in, you pick a potato chip out, and then you just walk out. You just walk out, and then you deduct from your card.
Oh, I see.
So of course there's some registration before that, but once you got
that's
past
very
it,
interesting.
yeah, you go in, take your Coke, you just walk out.
Right. You automate to that extent.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is true. It's merging. Yeah. And I see. Just between you and me, I think that can be used for pedals.
Yeah, I
you
think
go
so
in,
too.
you jam, 1-2 hours. You walk out. Maybe with a pedal, then we'll just deduct from your thing. Yeah. I don't even have to be there to, open a room for you, that kind of thing. And you can. A lot of people, I realize, like to have that personal space when trying pedals.
Yeah.
They don't like people pressurizing. Yeah. So.
It's
Yeah, it's one of my future plans.
no, that sounds exciting.
Yeah.
The possibilities are exciting there.
Right. I can envision it.
Yeah. It doesn't seem impossible.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting, man. That's exciting.
It needs a lot of moolah. Lah.
Because I guess with automation this way, one hand is like, okay, people are losing jobs. But on the other hand, then they can do more
Indeed.
more things with the time.
Indeed.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting. I'll think about this beyond this conversation. Let's segue a bit into like the guitar tech side of things. And
I would love to talk about it. I love it. Yeah.
can you share with us, okay, so from both sides, the retail side and the tech side, any stories that you want to share about? Be it great stories, horror stories. I think people like listening into someone else's experiences so they can live vicariously through them, whatever that means.
Okay. I agree. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Echoinox first, the e-commerce side.
Okay.
I have been very privileged to meet with a lot of working class musicians like yourself, and some are like the A-listers. I think the highest of this whole pyramid, it will be this guy called Kenn C.
Yeah.
You know him?
I don't know him, but everyone's heard
Everyone
of
knows
him, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
He is JJ Lin's producer.
Amazing.
And that guy is always guessing. Yeah. If you don't know what guess is acronym for gear acquisition syndrome, whereby you keep buying a lot of gear.
Yes.
He's always guessing. He always asks me, "Hey Jacob, I'm interested in this, that." And if you don't know what else to buy, hey Jacob, what else do I buy?
What else do I do with my money?
Yeah, in a way. But he always tells me at the end of the day it's for work. And I think that's how many people can say that, right? You buy 10 pedals and go like, it's for work. Yeah. I would say it, but nobody would believe it. Yeah, so I see him like sometimes like Stephanie's son has a Facebook Live, and I open and I'll say, hey, he's in the background. And hey, he's using the pedals that he got the other day.
Wow.
And I feel a sense of achievement in that. Like, hey, I played a part in this in a way. Vicariously.
No, you're the tone coach in this.
I guess so. I guess unknowingly, until you pointed it out, then I realized, hey, maybe I am a tone coach.
Pedal being
Yeah.
tone coach.
Yeah. So the Echoinox, I managed to meet people like that, and that
see.
is awesome. Yeah, I love meeting working class musicians like yourself, because I feel I'm making an impact in the arts culture in Singapore. Then of course, on the opposite end, there have been very terrible customers who think that like we owe them a living kind of thing. Most vividly I remember is that there was this customer. He was actually based in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bit coming back to me. He bought this
Australia.
Pictronics pedal, and it was 1 month already. That means it's past the 1-to-1 return warranty policy. And he goes like it's 40. Yeah, so we were like, okay, although it's past, we'll extend it. You just ship it back to Pictronics for repair. He'll ship it back to you, and then we'll pay for all the expenses. So the only thing you lose is time, and we're sorry about that lah. But he was like, no, you pay me the full price of this pedal, and I still want a brand new one. Then I'm like, how does that make sense for anybody? Right? So that was very nasty. And then he left like 1-star reviews, and for e-commerce, we kind of depend heavily on reviews. So that was actually 3 years back. I cannot remember the fine details, but I just remember it was a stressful period. Like, how do I make him happy while not destroying this month's whole sales and hindering our growth for that. Yeah. So but this is like really a very small portion. Most of the people I meet are people like yourself, super nice, super encouraging. There's this guy who always picks up his order at my place, but he'll always opt for the 2 hours delivery, which costs $15 more. It's his way of saying, hey, here's your tip.
I see. That's beautiful.
He works in Stanchart. Yeah, that guy. I wonder if he's watching this. So most of the people I meet, are nice people like yourself, and it motivates me to bring Echoinox to greater heights. Okay, now to TechWorks. This is where the juicy stuff starts, I tell you. I have met, again, both ends. Really good customers. Like when he come to pick up his guitar, I remember Evan, he brought like 12 chicken wings or something for my family because he came at dinner time.
I see.
I'm like, oh, that's so nice. Yeah. And it's not about the chicken wing, it's about the gesture. And then there's others who I'll tell them, hey, I need a bit more time because I feel like I can do a bit more. I feel like something, I want to redo this part. And then they go like, yeah, sure. Yeah. And time is always the most precious to me because this kind of work, it takes, I need time to make it to a degree of perfection that I feel, I can pass it back to a client. So yeah, understanding clients, I appreciate that. And then the nasty clients. Nasty clients are like
do tell.
Wow, okay. This guy, he sent in a Les Paul. I'm sorry, I hope I'm not boring people with these stories.
Nah, go for it. I will curate time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, this guy, he sent in his Les Paul, did electronics overhaul, changed all the ports, I did it for him. Okay. Then he brought it back, and ever since it's like whenever his Les Paul doesn't sound like what he had in mind. Like maybe the treble is missing or something like that. He will always blame me first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it has happened 3 times. Okay. So he said, he texted me, hey Jacob, the highs are suddenly gone. I usually coming chorus, then I'll roll up the volume and then it should cut through, but this time it didn't cut through. So I just told him, okay, do you check the tone port or your pedals or that? Then he said, check already. Then 2 days later, he come back and tell me, hey, it turns out my treble booster wasn't on. So the guitar is perfect, it's fine. I'm like, okay, yeah, glad everything worked out. Then next week, he comes back to me again, hey, suddenly the tone is missing. So, and then the same thing repeats. And it turns out he didn't on his buffer or something. So every time his guitar doesn't kind of sound right, he blames me first before checking the rig. Even till today, he's still doing it. But I've learned to deal with it lah. So recently, he texted me again like, hey, my Telecaster, suddenly the highs are not there again. This time I don't reply first. I give it a day. Then he texted me again. I didn't reply. He texted me again. Oh, okay. I didn't on this.
No, very very nice. You recognize a pattern.
Yeah. But I
And-
didn't want to point out to him lah.
Yeah.
It was a bit frustrating on my end. You know, you can't just blame me for everything, right? Even things like outside of what I did. Like I only did this one. Then he goes like, the action is high. I only did electronics, bro. I didn't set up your guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Right. So he just thinks that I am responsible for everything. Oh, yeah. So that was that's the epitome of bad customers, I guess.
Because I think two things. Number one is the weight of the customer's words or perspective, which kind of reflects in that 1-star review and also in this
Yes.
his perspective of your role in his transaction of money to you for a
Yes,
service. It kind of is very skewed. This is a very skewed perspective that everything is your fault.
Yes. Correct.
And the other thing is, the second thing that I was thinking about is you're a guitar technician. It's a skill set that you develop over years.
Yes.
But then you also have to now develop people skills and, you know, like how to deal with various sorts of humans while still doing the expertise, the expert work that's required of your role.
Indeed, yeah. So it's not just the hands-on.
Yeah.
It's the communication, catering to what they need and all
Which
that.
basically draws us back to that leadership thing in uni and all that.
University.
Amazing.
Indeed, yeah.
So I guess that's the one big thing about
It comes in a full circle.
yeah, right. if you remain open, it's always going to be open to you. So these qualities that you gain.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Thanks, Redwan.
So I'm just painting the whole picture. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It all comes in place, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
A question I have for you is, what do you think is flourishing in Singapore, you know, as a music industry? Because I definitely feel like your entry into the industry has been a source of support for many musicians. From cables to, because now your cables, I use your cables. If the cables ever go faulty, I can just get it repaired
Yes.
for life. I'm like,
Lifetime.
whoa,
Yes.
that's a game changer.
Yeah,
So I mean, there's this one minute level that you do, you know.
correct.
But what do you feel is flourishing? And then maybe the other aspect of the question is, what do you think probably needs some care and attention?
Wow, okay. Yeah, I'm happy you brought up the Solace cables because it was, it's more than just a product. It's our way of addressing exactly a problem that we saw in this, industry, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so cables were traditionally made to be used and throw away. And we didn't want that anymore. We don't want people to be frustrated about the rig. So we created Solace cables that comes with lifetime warranty. You don't have to buy another cable. You just get this one. Anytime it spoils, come back to me. Yeah, exactly as you described. So that was one thing. We were seeing that a lot of guitarists are spending a lot of money on cables, which shouldn't really be the way. And that was also one solution we came up for the industry. Yeah. But if you're talking about arts in general in this industry, well, actually, I think I would like to quote John Sir, Sir guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
John Sir. He had this quote and I loved it. Given the amount of gear and technology in the pedals and guitars in the today's music world, if your tone still sucks, go back to practice.
I've seen this quote, yeah.
Yeah. So what he's saying is that there's no way anyone will sound bad with the plethora of options we have now. Yeah, if you really sound bad, it means you suck. You need to practice. And that's a problem, Redwan. We have so many toys now that a lot of people forget to practice. Myself included. Myself included. I've been playing the same 4-chord song since like 3 years ago. Yeah, it is true. So that's one thing. And the other thing that I think needs to be addressed is, I think you feel it as a musician also, that I think you guys are underpaid somehow.
Underpaid.
Spotify gives you what? Can I? Is it okay? So
Of
say
course, man.
Spotify.
I think that's global.
Okay.
If it's
Sweet.
local, then maybe okay.
Yeah, it pays like 0.0003.
It's rough.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. This artist I work with, Vincent, his handle is Valiantes. he writes great music.
Mm.
There's one acoustic guitar, one sofa, Sunday afternoon music. I love his music. He loved creating music. But he threw, I think, 3K to creating an album.
Mm-hmm.
It has been 2 years and he still has not break even. Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
See, that demotivates him to continue writing music.
Mm.
And everybody loses. Yeah.
Everybody
So
loses.
where does all the money go to then, right? Spotify?
Yeah, it's rough to make this sustainable,
It is.
especially beyond that first product.
Correct.
Because then you can see the results of that first product reflected in time and money, and
Yeah.
then like, okay, should I keep going?
Yeah.
You know, that's rough. That's
Yeah.
a question. That is a question.
And that guy, that Vincent, he's been featured on a lot of articles. He got more than, I think more than 10K or more than 100K streams already.
Oh wow, I see.
And he's still not even close to break even. And I'm like, what? Yeah, so.
But I think that also comes into play that now all of us artists who are introverts have to think about monetization in a way that puts us at the forefront of branding. Let's say Patreon and whatever,
Correct.
like merchandise and
Correct.
which is a bit strange to me.
Some
It's
are
a-
on Kickstarter.
Yeah, right.
For your next album. What?
It's a question I've been thinking about. Because all of us are kind of introverts, I guess, in the first place. That's why we're
Yes.
doing this.
Yes.
But now we gotta brand ourselves and earn money
Correct.
because we can't earn money
Correct.
through streams and things like that.
Correct.
100K plus streams and still not
It's still not
anything,
even-
isn't it? Yeah, I know this about Spotify.
Madness.
Um, On that note, in every episode, we have a musical performance.
Okay.
And we are going to feature today this band named Hijack Hayley. We had an open call for performers to submit their demos. And we received like over 100 entries.
Okay.
So this next band is, I think, my favorite entry.
Oh.
I shouldn't say that actually. No favorites. They're all my favorites. But they are kick-ass, man. I saw them playing here live. And I feel like they're one of the most exciting new things I've seen in Singapore. So, on that note, please take it away, Ryan. I hope you enjoyed their song called Burning Bridges. Yes.
In the evenings, night goes by, we never had a problem believing. And as the time goes by, I struggle sometimes, I struggle hard contemplating. Oh, good times we share. Do you even care? On which part will it take to make it all disappear? Every girl one shot at a time. A hell of a ride. You're the closest friend of mine. You're just gone with the wind. You and I, we're burning down some long roads of stunning bridges. You can't seem that hard to say you're sorry. I seem to find myself just wanting to fix the stitches. But then I came to my senses. Whoa! Keep believing. As the night goes on and on, it gets more deceiving. Do you know that entertaining is something more than done just for the sake of saving? No, which good times we share. You even care on which part will it take to make it all disappear? Every girl one shot at a time. Woo! A hell of a ride. You're the closest friend of mine. You're just gone with the wind. You and I, we're running down some long roads to study bridges.
Right, so I hope you enjoyed Hijack Hayley's song Burning Bridges. Jacob's being cute. He is cute.
Yeah, so what?
Okay. A question I'd like to ask at this juncture is, because we always have a target person in mind. I don't want to say audience, person, which can be an audience. Someone who's graduating from secondary school maybe, or starting poly soon. And also having visions of entering Singapore's music industry and maybe down the path that you took, which is music retail and entrepreneurship of having your own guitar tech line, repair, all these things. What advice would you have for someone like that?
Well, first of all, I emphasize again, I have said it earlier, but I emphasize again, this is not a money-making industry. You're better off selling chicken rice and then selling off that brand for like maybe $1 million instead of selling pedals. But if you think this is your passion and you want to do it for the rest of your life, make gear part of your life itself, I would say you need to find a differentiation. So I always encourage people to just go for entrepreneurship, even if they are going to be my competitors. But you need to find a differentiation. We are all doing, I think, different things. We have covered actually most, if not all, of what this industry needs. So it is up to you now to go and find what is missing and then use that to penetrate the market. For guitar tech, okay, this one is advice that I give to almost everybody. Okay, if you want to be a guitar tech, okay, YouTube videos make a lot of the repairs look too easy. I cannot emphasize this enough. So many people go to YouTube and go like, oh, that's how they did a refret, I'll do mine. And then the whole fretboard is gone. And then they come to me and I have to charge them double because I need to fix them. It's double the time. It's just everybody's not happy. Okay. So learn from someone proper. I would love to teach, but honestly, I do not have the time. In the day I'm doing Echoinox and at night I'm repairing.
Eventually, maybe.
Hopefully.
That'll be beautiful. That'll be beautiful.
Trying to work towards that. Learn from someone respectable. Hone your skills before you start offering to others. Outside. And I'm glad you bring this up. Just digress a little bit. It really pisses me off each time I see on like Carousel someone's offering some new setup. Like this guy never heard before. He probably watched some YouTube video last night and then decided, oh, I'm a guitar tech now. And then he starts offering his services out there. Oh, goodness, that irritates the heck out of me. Kind of, because he's using a term guitar tech. So it's like kind of putting himself in the same as us. And then it's just, what? It's just degrading, I feel. And for artists, songwriters, musicians like yourself, I cannot emphasize this enough as well. You cannot just stay an introvert and just keep writing your songs. You have to know the basics of marketing yourself. Branding, okay? You gotta put yourself out there. Know what content to post on your IG, FB, and all the other platforms. What captures your audience. Try using TikTok. I think it's working out for a lot of musicians. You need to know the basics of marketing yourself. You cannot escape it. You can't go like, no, but I just want to write songs. No, you will stay like hidden forever. There's too many of us. You need to differentiate yourself. That's my advice.
It's very wholesome advice.
Thank you.
Maybe the last question I have for you before we end things today is, what's on the horizon for you?
Like you said, I hope one day I can go into like maybe teaching luthiery and actually I am looking to expand Echoinox big enough that I can have somebody take over the day-to-day operations, because it's like running a shop, right? That I can hand over. But if you want your guitar to be repaired by Jacob Lai, I cannot hand that over. I mean, I am Jacob Lai, right? So I wish to go back to repairing like full time while I hand over Echoinox. So that's in the horizon. But of course, if you were asking about brands, I cannot review too much, but we already have 4 confirmed brands lined up.
Wow.
And it's not just pedals.
Amazing.
Some parts that you can zheng on
Your
your
guitar,
guitar. Yeah.
Amazing.
And they are famous brands, so I'm gonna leave it as that.
Oh, exciting times, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks, Redwan.
I paint a clearer picture of your
Right.
existence. in my life
Thank
now.
you so much.
Such a strange way to end, right? I paint a clearer picture of your existence in my
Yeah.
life now.
Yeah, it's like as if I gave some motivational talk.
I feel like you did, you know.
Really? I
You
just shared my
truly did.
life. That's all.
Right. And that's the whole point. Your life is motivational and inspiring.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Redwan. This is a podcast where we interview practitioners from our industry. Right now it's music industry. And we've interviewed sound engineers, arts managers, musicians. Who else have we interviewed? Educators. And I think towards the second half of the year, we're going to start delving into theatre and dance as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Jacob, for your time.
Thanks, Redwan.
Please follow us on all our social medias. I'll forget something, so just like Insync SG, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's it. LinkedIn, yes, LinkedIn.
Is it gonna be here?
I hope so.
Click here. Ryan, is it gonna be here? It's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's not.
Okay,
But I'm
just
already.
Insync SG on any social that you use.
I meant to clap.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you next one.
See ya.